Good morning, class. Welcome to Homeroom with Unc and Market Monk. Morning, P. How was your week?
It ended up really pretty good despite the selling just because of the way I hedge things. I'm not like not it's not like a brag or whatever, but the puts the like a weekly put on MSTR or something, and then it drops 6-8%, like 15% on the week or something. You do pretty well on that. Even the calls lose less value because they have more time, and you just I just end up closing it all. Like when you get a move like that, I don't see a reason to keep the calls. You can just get them at a lower strike and try again. But those pivots, when they cut both ways, when one breaks down, it can drop pretty far. That uh, so that was good. I mean, 270 was the pivot, so it's like it really kind of bottomed out Friday morning, and then came back. And I talked to you, like, even when you see something that's likely to happen, um, you just don't even have to trade it. Like, when I already did well in the morning, so just kind of walked away, let things settle out. But interesting week, kind of difficult conditions, but things are setting back up, I think.
Yeah, I don't know when I said it, but I think it was Friday. That's definitely toughest week to trade of the year. Hands down for me. Kind of was on a don't get too, what do you want to call it? Don't get too firm in your stances. And I'm talking about like with the government shutdown, the
Yeah,
China
yeah,
deal, all that. Like I pretty much said, if you just don't try to make an opinion on it. And last week when I went into the week, I was like, all right, we'll be good Monday, Tuesday, and we'll pick up on. We'll sell off on the weekend again. Well, that I had an opinion, and that didn't happen. So it was a pretty rough week in that regard. Not bad, like from a monetary standpoint, but um, better off on the swings if I would have scaled out, let's say 75% instead of 25%, because they're just kind of
yeah.
stuck in a range, re-offering that entry again. Swing trading is really, really hard right now. Park and wait probably a better way to do it. For a couple of those paid off. FSLY last week, I finally got out of that. He told me he was going to 10, so hang out and stuff like that, and then like the Chewy and the Snap. The Snap, what the fuck was that, P? I mean,
Yeah, I know, right?
you just, I mean, I think I said that in this session too. And sometimes you just got to keep it pretty simple. But I mean, those aren't like account changers, right? Those are just green trades for me. Um, the best advice or best thing I did last week is I didn't check in on the other account, or that one account that you just kind of
Yeah,
hang
yeah.
out in, because it was a nightmare, just a psyche killer overall looking at that thing last week. um, but if it's like anything, if you zoom out, it don't look half as bad. So on a short term, a little hellish last week. Overall, like batting average still pretty damn good.
Well, yeah, and I mean the thing is some of the pullback numbers on SPY, like the one you mentioned, if that's going to happen, a lot of really good stocks and companies, a lot of really good companies are gonna take a haircut, get a pullback, and you just gotta keep in mind what the original entry was. I mean, the people I see really getting into trouble, that you look at something like MP I have up here, and
Yeah. That was
when people got into the rare earth thing, like they finally figured it out. Like, I don't know what, a year and a half after we were talking about it, then they started trying to trade it like meme coins, and buying this thing in the 80s or 90, and now to them it's like the worst stock in the world,
yeah.
and you know, and even on a 4 hour looks pretty nasty, but you mean then you look at the weekly, and I think I've been out of this for a little while, but I think it was like 82 was when I had to stop for the rest of it, but
Did you?
yeah, the it's just being late to sector rotations and going at those sectors with a kind of crypto mindset, and then using options on top of it. I mean, that's why people are blowing up, and that's why it seems like the end of the world right now to a lot of those people. And then they'll make the same mistake again, and they'll they maybe weren't in Duolingo, but they'll see it and they'll be like, all right, now's time to do it. And so real quick rant on this one. The funny thing about this one for me is like, so you look at this and some of these moves, and I'll go to the daily real quick. And the point at which I got out of this thing was it made that move over 440, and on its way back down, I had just set it at 400 and was like, I'm out. Earnings were coming up. I'm done. I had a pretty sizable position on this thing, the lower, like lower 200s, and then it climbed back up and shot way past where I sold it, and I had to kind of fight that like psychological battle. I'm like, oh damn it, I should have kept some. I should have kept a fourth of it, free shares, or whatever, and then kind of look at where we are now. And I'm glad I got out, and I got a little like some option scalps on that last move up or whatever. But you talked about this one. Just from the fundamentals, it wasn't really sustainable. The point at which the market started to care about that. So yeah, that was a good lesson for me. I'd already been through Roku, a little different but similar. So when you have a big win, share side and stocks are gonna blow right past it. They'll often come right back down, and it doesn't look so bad to you to have gotten out.
Did you see the MP? Well, it was MP based video I posted 2 days ago. So Friday.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that. I mean, I watch that channel is on Blair in the background for me most of the day, and then Twitter obviously because as soon as those people start talking about stuff, it's time to roll. It's usually
Yeah.
time to go. Um, that was one of the points I wanted to make there. Charts, yeah. There. I mean, in general, I don't want to say you're looking at the wrong charts, but it's back to what I said last week about you're probably going to be trading stuff you don't want to trade right now,
Yeah.
or you're not going to be trading the stuff you want to trade just because it looks like it's on a discount. When you said MP, I was like, you stole my shit. But I had um, four charts that and I know people don't want to trade, but they're what I'm looking at just because they're not necessarily the best setups or or the best companies, but they're just in the proper position and they're responding correctly to the market. And
Yeah.
that's like your root, your Chewy, your MPW. That's what I thought you said. And then you're like your
Oh,
doc,
okay. Yeah.
and then your docu. If you look at any of those charts, um, they're kind of in a little better spot. And to roll that into the third point with your Duolingo and Roku here, P. When I get in that spot, I just I, maybe not you, but a lot of people, especially when they get comfortable, they divert from plans or they deviate from plans in general. And I'm adamant about rereading my notes. I mean, that's why the stuff's ingrained in my head so much. If I thought a trade was only going to get me 20% and I'm up 100, I need to really have a good reason to hang out in it. And and
Yeah.
and that's just kind of what's always kept me out of the top of things like that. That and I know I'm going to find another one. So if I can't get that same ratio, if I can't get another 100%, let's just use Duolingo. If I don't think there's like 650 to 8 in Duolingo, I'm out because I can go
Yeah.
find something that's in that spot. And I can better use my money. I'm not going to I shouldn't get a knife on that other one, right? Where your ratio has changed on Roku, Duolingo. I don't want to pick on Duolingo. Lulu, I don't
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
to pick on those guys. But the ratio has changed, the momentum has changed, and everything. So now, like, if you have like a $200 move down, I'm never gonna play a ratio like that, especially when a support level is broke. So for me, it's just
Yeah.
for the general audience here, it's until you are 8 of 10 on what you wrote down on your fucking paper, stick to it. I don't care what happens until that works, and then you can add a secondary plan to that. or I'll do this if this happens, or maybe keep some. But until you're getting on base, you're gonna have that green to red a lot, P, or just that PayPal we talked about last week. You bought it at $70, you ain't made shit in 3 years if you haven't made a move.
Right, yeah, and I think there have been several several stocks in this category. Wing was one. Um, Build-A-Bear was one. Like, but
Yeah.
Build-A-Bear, the shares are cheaper, but the where it's like a smaller float at the insider ownership, and they just sort of like grind up. But I will say it's really hard to keep free shares on something where the shares are 200, 300,
Oh
$400.
yeah, yeah.
Like it's not the same as keeping free shares on the $8 one that's trading at 14. It's just it's mentally completely it's just different. And so I've been through several of those now, and as they had their drawdowns of 30-50% or more. It's like, yeah, I kind of look at them again, but it takes a long time for them to set back up. I mean, even Wing had another
We had a good
pop
run.
and fade. We're
Yeah.
right back here again. So it's not. I mentioned last week that just getting to that point, being at this long enough, where I'm like, okay, this is a different thing now, and phase was like that, where you're not just gonna get the mega swing home run on that same stock, and comes back to your point of what you want to trade versus what's out there. Uh, so yeah, I'm mindful of going back to the well, once too often, or going at it in the wrong way. It's like in sports and preparation, like you study film, you've been hitting off the same pitcher for a while, but things have changed. Didn't have the fastball, but location's better or whatever. Like, so you just you have to go at it with a new strategy. Rinse and repeat. You can't think you're always just going to do that. And then on real quick on that, when a stock hits a price and it's like, oh, it's here it is, it's in the buy zone. Um, the price isn't enough to make that argument. So what else is going on? Like the overall market, sector, flow, what brought it to that price. That's the one for me. I mean, I something just a really aggressive flush down to a pivot I like is different from a slow bleed out and then it just gives it up. But hit at the same price, but it didn't hit it in the same way. So um, yeah, you gotta have other checks other than just the price.
I want to touch a little bit on the 200 or 500 or $800 stocks. It's took me. I like yeah, no shit. That's hard to keep free shares. I mean, I usually don't trade that stuff, but I've been trying to. Let's say the last year, um, on the really good setups. Because our
Yeah.
work, that's my version of all right. I got to use this work. It's something I haven't been doing, but I've never grabbed anything over like 10 shares of that. And I'm not fucking Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. I'm not just gonna keep two. Um,
Yeah.
so like yeah, that's always I think that psychologically has helped me just kind of treat those as thank you, use the work trades. Um,
Yeah.
because I'm not going to swing a $20,000 wing position. That's just probably not going to happen. I saved that for the Mag 7 of the worlds or stuff like
Yeah.
that. Even like a Carvana, not happening, or a Brute, not happening. Good companies for that sizing, but play a couple $100 in those or a couple $1,000 in those. Totally different. Um, so I'm with you, but I think looking for the home run on those charts and not just I mean, because share side, that's the share side in the options trade. The percentage is really good um,
Yeah.
on both of them. So if you get the 10% move and wing, that's going to be great on the options, and that's a decent share trade.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Whereas
Absolutely.
whereas on the $5 stock, that 10% move might not even move the option you're in, or
Well,
the
and
$8 stock.
and the other thing is like you talk about the plan. I kept a lot of those a lot longer than I had planned on, just because they didn't really even give you an exit as far
Sure.
as like, because the you can just see the candles here, on the daily chart on the way up. Um, there wasn't that extreme sustained move down, and then that all changed. It had that one earnings, and then it's kind of been a lot more volatile, and you can't hold through all. Like, you go to this segment here, you can't hold through all that. The moves up are more aggressive. The moves down are more aggressive. It's just, I don't know mechanically why, but it's just a different. It's a different chart now, different
Just
phase of its
liquidity.
life cycle, or whatever. So
Just
yeah,
liquidity. And I mean, that's what you're
yeah,
seeing overall in the market currently.
yep.
What else you got?
Um,
Oh, yeah, no,
oh, the
I'm
earn.
let me throw that out there just because it fits. I'm kind of gonna be. You're gonna hear a lot of plans from me late. I mean, it's gonna be a key topic Q4. I don't know until it fucking sticks. But I was pretty adamant to people. We buy one share a day.
Yeah,
And we're just going to do that. And the reason we're going to do that is because we're like $16, $17 in right now. We should have a really good average. Getting back to the original buy zone is going to be a positive trade at this point in time. Don't fuck
yeah,
up the plan, people. All right, I'm done.
right. Yeah. So wanted to.
Sorry, Pete, let me say that differently. Don't ask why
Yep.
my plan worked and yours didn't. All right, that was my rant for the day.
Um, yeah. So, and here's another one that it was like, okay, this is something different now. Elf, where
$100
I've
stop, Pete.
had that kind of that orderly move up. You search the group on Elf, you're gonna see in like the 30, 35, 40, $50 range, and then that move up, and then that move down. I didn't even have this in the casino because I didn't the flow didn't say it was gonna indicate it was gonna do that to me, but went down 35% or something, and um the the way the moves off of earnings where the report's really not that bad, but they're dropping 20, 30%. A lot of people are seeing this as like this is some new development in the market that's happening, but and Trade Desk actually did fine in their earnings, but they did that. Yeah, this has been going on for a little while, so I want to talk about kind of your take on some of these extremes moves down, because what it does is it's undoing a lot of the improvement in market breadth that we talked about, where like some of the B plus names are catching back up and all that. And a lot of them are just taking, some pretty big hits to the downside. And we're kind of right back where we started or worse on some of those names. So I'm kind of curious. I can see the flow step in and then rebuild and set back up. But not a lot of boxing gloves in these names. So they're kind of just retraces, mid candle, that sort of thing. So I just what's your read on what's going on with some of the heavy moves down in this earnings cycle?
So I don't forget this one. I mean, a lot of people aren't going to run to Elf or Trade Desk in general, right? Like
Yeah,
that's just not happening. So I mean that's where your time comes in. That's where the immediate buyback doesn't come, like you
yeah,
see on the bigger names. Even though the market is pretty damn liquid, I wasn't necessarily the biggest earnings trader, and again through the use the work process, messing with you over the last 5 years, I've had to kind of figure out my own like way around them, and I always just attack earnings as soon as they start. Try to read reports and see how the market is going to respond. Um, this time around, it's pretty much been 50-50 coin flip if we're gonna like good news, and if you do not say the perfect guidance, we're gonna crush you. And that's just where we've
yeah,
been. And a lot of people have been a little hesitant on the guidance going into this earnings season. Um, so that I mean that's been it for me. It's the ones that come out with really good numbers and the guidance is in line or fine and they don't really move that I look at. And I got a couple of those for the last 5 this week, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's the end. I mean, you kind of for me, I identify maybe in the first week and a half. All right, do I need to play earnings plays leading in, or do I just need to wait for these reports and buy pullbacks? And those have kind of been my A and B strategy, and we're definitely in that secondary spot. Um, but yeah, the flow reading three candles has always been the reason to get back into things, especially the shittier you get down the chain.
Yeah, right, absolutely. And I just
I mean,
it's
Pete,
one of the things.
let me add one more there. One more there. We were 690. We're flirting with 700. What the hell y'all think's gonna happen? I mean, don't
Right, right.
panic. We're going to 660. Jesus fucking Christ. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, yeah, and I just see so many. I guess it's just sort of a engagement thing. So a stock makes an extreme move like Elf. People weren't really talking about Elf. Nobody got it on this move back up, which you kind of search the room and um, caught quite a bit of that a couple times. But so now like it did enough for people to like notice it, and then oh, it's a great opportunity, and so they start to pile in and attach their name to the ticker, and you might even get
Yup.
tickers. Yeah, you might get like tickers dedicated to this this stock. We're Elf Apes now, and whatever, and it's it tends to just not be a place I want to be, just despite like how much I wrote about this stock and put it in my notes on the way up and on this move down and then back up. And now the move was extreme enough where I kind of don't like it. And I even I missed some of the recovery on UNH this last round just because it was, and that one's obviously a different kind of stock, but the memification of a stock, I don't like what that does to option flow, so I kind of stay away. And I just see a lot of these names that took drops like this, that's occurring with them. Duolingo's 40 million shares or something, and for it to get kind of the meme treatment, uh, people are gonna whales will sort of flip the switch, and it's like okay, now we can kind of put the hurt on some people buying weekly options on this thing, and that's not where you want to be in a swing trade where you just get those, you know, drop 4%, get half of it back. Like there's just a lot of that's going to go on. So just not where I want to be. And it goes back to your point again. Like I want to trade that stuff again, but I should not do that. And so I'm just going to find other things.
Yeah, I think as you climb the mountaintop, it's harder to reach the next level as you go. And I think for you that not necessarily backing away, but really having a definitive downside spot. Um,
Yeah,
and you can lean on me for a while. I mean, that's what RTL is. I mean, that's my first click. How your volume comes in, or you get an open interest wake up. My open interest wake up is hitting volume P or auto RTL on a pullback. I mean, that's where I start. I mean, that's why I'm better at that side of it than playing
yeah.
through like the top end pivots and stuff like that. I'm looking to be cheap. Um, the other question I had, so I mean, you said you didn't like that. Not that it just discourages me, but I think you should have a spot here where you are going to like it, or a reason to like it at 73 or 75
Well,
or
they got to
75.
get, yeah. I mean, they got to get washed out for a while. I mean, so it's I guess what I would say is that there are certain like earnings moves where like the mid candle or even especially like a news drop where
Sure.
the mid candle pops up and I'm like, all right, yeah, right here, and then I'm like, I don't even do the 3 day rule on some of
Oh,
those,
sure.
and
Yeah, just play that relief.
they're
I
kind of
get it.
yeah, they're kind of instantly back. I don't know that I see that with some of
Anything.
these. I mean, like so
Anything.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. I mean, well, because Elf, for example, it had that 35% drop. Well, it dropped another seven the next day. How many people jumped in and bought Friday calls on that thing? Thinking that well,
Sure. Sure.
we're at least going to get 4 or 5% back. Duolingo dropped 30%. I think it came back four or something the next day, but But yeah, that those kind of those
the
aren't really where I want
thesis.
to be. And the flow itself, I'm just it because so many people from Twitter are piling in. It really it muddies the waters.
Yes.
So I don't like the crowded room. That's I guess that's what I'm getting at with, especially on a low float. I don't like it when the room gets crowded because it's just different than the way I read it.
Yeah, I'm
Basically,
stubborn on a good thesis, and else $100 stock. That's kind of is what it is there. And the other
yeah.
two I could use the Duolingo for me ever since that Apple news came out. I mean, what would you rather do? Play a shitty animated, for lack of better terms, video game, or go eavesdrop on people at your market? I mean, that's pretty easy for me.
Right.
What I'm doing. I mean, that
Yeah.
sounds a
Yeah.
way better good time to go listen to whatever they're saying behind the lunch counter down there at the taco wagon. Um,
Right. Right.
so I mean, just in general, I know that's again, I, you got to keep the theses real simple, and then the solar one as well. I mean, you could throw that in there. Like, where was the thesis out on that? And um, those are three good examples of backside or downside charts with that are just totally different. And of the three, I mean, of the three, Elf is the best company for me, so it would be the
Yeah.
best to try to swing. The other one's finally in a decent spot. That's not fair now. If it was 37, um, I could make this point a little better. That's another one too. There's a ton of those charts that are just in a better spot that are a little farther in the cycle, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Also, I mean the thing like I'm ragging on Elf a bit, but the thing that it does have going for it is the whole the Becky basket thing and the where women spend their money and the brand itself is still has that cachet and popularity or whatever. So so yeah, and I think even the fundamentals will start to line up. And I mean we did really well on this one,
Mm-hmm.
um, and that one just like really fully bottomed out and just got ridiculous. And so it was pretty easy to even trade back here, and we're still well below my pivot on the thing. But yeah, Elf, I think I just gotta give it time. So when I say I
Yeah,
don't want to trade, I want to trade it like I trade those things, where it's like monthly options. Boom, let's go. The day after it happens, or 2 days after. I just when it starts to get on the socials, those recoveries take a little longer because you got a whole fresh group of people that you're gonna rinse around for a while.
yeah. No, I couldn't agree more with that. The one of your best sayings is sell into them fat green candles. I just don't think the opposite is true that you buy into fat red ones.
Right.
You
Yeah,
buy
that's
off
true.
of levels, and you
Right.
buy off of and again, I like that. I like when it's the Twitter punchline. I mean, I look for that nowadays because
Yeah. Yeah.
you're 100% accurate on the Twitter punchlines, um, being the spot to be in. Just overall market though. I want to read this note because I think it will you'll go places with it. But liquidity are being liquid, a liquid market, not having liquidity, is not a rising tide. It's basically just splash damage, and that's what it seems like a lot of charts are. I mean, we might be getting through a zone on the especially on the upside, but that's it. They're not moves. Maybe a better way to explain the pop and fade, but
Yeah.
from a level two standpoint, there just really ain't no one there. They needed like let's say just for simple math, 100,000 shares, and to get that, they had to travel 10%. And
Right.
it's just I've seen it over and over again, and enough to where it's like, all right, thank you. Here, you can have mine, and I'll just buy back down here on a lot of things. What up, Fubo? Because that's just where we are right now, and I don't know if you're seeing that on your end or how that works on your end, but level two is like a you know how like the Nick and Knight they play the same goddamn four shows over again and over
Yeah.
again and over again. That's what level two's been lately. Just the same show of looking for shares and or liquidity in a lot of the trade things we trade.
Uh, right. And uh, I kind of saw it with PayPal that
Yeah, that's good
even
stuff.
going into that, the follow through wasn't there. I mean that boxing glove of 100C March or something. It just wasn't there going into it, so I was a little apprehensive about the follow through there. But yeah, I think that on a lot of that stuff, you pop 12-15% after hours, and you just gotta be ready to sell a little bit. So I think for the long term holds at good spots. I mean, there's a temptation sometimes to be like, oh, they've got earnings. Oh, whatever. Who cares? But there's going to be a chance for you to take some off the table on those, and even Trade Desk. The initial move was like 16% to the upside. So if you had some, and then I the I guess the most likely thing when I saw that move, what I sort of thought was, all right, this will pull back to up 10 or 9%, hang out there, and then we'll see. But it just gave it all right back, and then went red, on Friday. And it's if you have shares, even at a really good spot, it's annoying to sit through that shit. But I think that you just are signs that that's what we're gonna do. So figure out how you want to handle that is what I would say, and definitely don't go chasing pre-market green. That's a horrible idea.
The
That's another thing I'd say. Yeah,
PayPal and Root, great examples lately of that.
yeah,
Fortunately for me, I seen PayPal, and fortunately for me, Root is a shitty stock. But yeah, if you're hanging out there, you're not red. You're probably FOMO in the trade you missed, and you're not going to buy back in like I'm about to. So,
yeah,
um, yeah, just kind of know where you are, and I luck out a lot of the times with that. This is the poopy. Maybe I should start putting that on there. Like this is just a shitty stock. Like make some money off of it. Um,
right.
don't overdo it. Don't hold for the bigger move, and until you kind of understand your psyche and your style. Because yeah, watching people get washed around in a move that happened is probably the worst thing from guys like us.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I want to get some boring stuff. I got tea time today.
Yeah, let's do it. So the uh, copper is sort of unbothered by what's going on with the market. So I definitely think there's some strength here, and there's a just a bigger picture, and the 5 to 7 move and kind of everything that means is shaping up. And I'm kind of big. We're gonna have our New Year's meeting and sort of just throw out some big ideas, and it's always really fun to do that. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna say yet, but I will say that things that are boring and physical, are going to be a big part of what I talk about. So, you know, the next phase of all of this AI mania, which I think stays with us. I don't think it's just some bubble that pops like .com, but you got to build things, you got to power things, and that if this idea that you just throw a data center in rural America, there's a lot that has to go into that. And so anyway, copper is a huge part of all that, and I would say that aluminum's gonna do better than copper as far as the stocks go. So it's time to start looking back at some of those names, I think.
Yeah, with you on the sentiment around copper. I'll leave my thoughts on the end of your meeting for another time.
Yeah. And then silver, kind of had its pullback, probably setting back up. Same with gold around.
Hey, on silver for you.
Yeah.
What's your percentage on $100 stock?
For silver to go to $100?
Yes. What's your percentage?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it will. I just the time frame sort of difficult,
Well, okay,
but
okay.
silver has so many industrial applications. So I mean, talk about I got kind of like 70, 74 in my mind for sort of like a horizon I'm thinking about as far as stocks go. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think you're not going to see like silver's not going to have another lost decade anytime soon.
Okay.
I'll put it that way.
Okay.
I do think it continues
I
to move
thought
up.
you'd be a little lighter than that, but I mean, you had your own thesis in there too, so I like that. That's what I wanted to hear. I wasn't expecting it though, but that's what I wanted to hear.
Yep. And then let's see.
Is nickel traded? Like,
Um,
is it its own
yeah,
thing, or I'm just
yeah.
curious? Okay,
Um,
you don't have to pull it up or anything. I was just asking.
okay, yeah. Their futures are like uranium, though. It's a little weird.
Oh, okay, all right. Fuck that.
Yeah. Um, and all right, oil. I'm liking it more and more. I don't really care that it's under 60 that much. It's there's just some stability here to me, and it's just setting up. I think oil is going to be good. It's not an administration priority right now. So there's so much other stuff going on that it's kind of easy for oil to get ignored. But whales definitely are accumulating. A lot of big names, and then drilling and pipelines and all of that stuff. So the extent to which America is going to enter some kind of uh, golden age, I think it's going to revolve around kind of this American renaissance of the traditional stuff coming back, and I think oil's sort of part of that. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I got. There's a lot in my head on oil. A lot of stuff y'all don't want to hear, but the smalls were really good. P. I kept one I didn't. Um, I'm looking for like those not midstream but mid cap names, and then
Yeah.
the guys that are gonna be first to your drillers and stuff. I know you brought up that one this week that we the really shitty one with the good name. So I'm
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm looking into those. That's where I want to start. And the smalls. I don't know why they perform a little bit better, but um, yeah.
Some of the there's some stocks under 5 that are going to go to 8 in this whole thing.
There's a
That's
stock that's
those are
fucking
some
with
of the ones.
four that's going to 12.
Yeah, there you go. Right, right. Yeah, yeah.
Y'all should have $3 ads. That's all I'm saying. You're
Right.
30% already.
And then yeah, natural gas. Yeah, I like I had the read to get us here, and so I just sort of like it, consolidate and set up, and still just still just 5 to 7. I mean, I don't nobody talks about Ukraine anymore, but there's some the unwind of everything that was engineered around that conflict, um, the manipulation. We'll use that term. Once that all settles out, this is going up, not down.
Yeah, six
That's
or
my take.
seven. Yeah, 6 or 7
Yeah.
bucks. With you on that.
Yeah. Let's see. Uh, China. It's funny to me how many people got wrecked on China stocks lately. With I mean, Hanks. I know you don't use this one, but
KWAB.
this has kind of just been fine. I mean, it's sort of stable. So yeah, it's funny to see people get washed around, but we're pretty good at the Chinese stocks. So I hadn't talked about them a lot lately, but I think they might pop back up soon.
For me, I always say 3-to-1 ratio. When it comes to a China name, I'm more like 5.
Yeah.
Just because I want a bigger move, and there's some charts in the good spots. I haven't dropped them in collabs because I think there's some, lack of better terms, some safer places to be. Um, but yeah, I was expecting those to be active after that the deal was struck, but I guess we're waiting on our tariffs even legal before we kind of get the tariff run, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
right. And I mean, for me, the even the good companies, if there is such a thing, like the if I see flow of 7 to 10%, I don't even really bother with it.
Hmm.
Um, it's got to be like 30, even on the big
Yeah,
ones, and that's worked for us on Bidu and some of those other ones. So yeah, with you on the style as far as that goes.
Baba.
Um, yeah, yeah. All right. So before I get to crypto, 10-year real quick.
Chilling.
Uh, yeah, kind of pop back up and
There's some shit behind the doors that we don't understand with these bonds, P. There really is.
Oh,
It's
for sure.
it's
Yeah.
the government. The bond is a government option. That's what I've come. I know I talked to you about hard assets a few weeks ago. I've been going down that rabbit hole. But yeah, it's basically just an option on the government.
Well, the one thing I identify with it is that there is an obsession with bonds in this administration. What exactly they're trying to do, or more importantly, how they're going to do it, like is a little bit beyond me. And the auctions that show up, I
Yeah,
always joke with Goose about those, but it's yeah. So I think to me it's kind of just a check, just kind of be mindful of what's going on with it, and be careful. But it's engineering some pop and fade conditions for sure right now.
yeah, they're trying to either restructure or eliminate or something with our debt, national debt through the bonds. That's what I.
Yes.
That's about as far as I want to take that with acting like I know what I'm talking about. But I mean, that's what it is. I don't understand it. It's fucking rocket science to me. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but there's definitely a lot going on um, in that realm. I know when I looked into the dollar, the hard assets and the dollar and stuff, it's yeah, you can get into some conspiracy theories really damn quick.
The the dollar has been surging a bit. The other like foreign currencies against the dollar, like some of them are really taking a beating, like India. So so that kind of pops up, but it's hard for stocks to get much momentum when the dollar is surging to this degree. But I would expect that it's going to settle down a bit, and even if it continues to move up, if it moves up slowly, it doesn't really not that big of a deal.
I
But
all right,
yeah, be careful.
I got to inject one of these in here. Um,
Yep.
did you know that our tax dollars, like, they just burn that shit? Like, there's not an
Yeah.
account where our tax dollars like go. It's just like
Right. Right.
we pay them and it goes to zero. Like, there's no account. They don't like take that money and give it to the fucking snap people. They just burn it and then reissue more money. I mean,
Yes.
that's like the system. And most people don't understand that. Most people don't understand that.
Right. No. Yeah. The whole. Yeah. The You can get a lot of rabbit holes on that. Federal Reserve,
Yeah,
Jekyll
yeah, yeah.
Island.
I'm there. That's where I've been
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
No,
yeah.
it is.
Have you heard of MMT?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, like they say that the debt is really our savings account. That's their theory.
Right.
Like the
And
government might not have it, but we all got it, whether it's private or public sector, um, yeah, or foreign. We all got it. They want it back to
yeah,
burn it.
the the oversimplification of the when someone uses the phrase my tax dollars, there's a big propaganda element to that. So
Yeah,
it's like what you want your money to go here, you don't want your money to go here. Hey, look at what this political party is doing with your tax dollars. And so whether it's for some people you can say, hey, they're buying this missile with your tax dollars and they're targeting these people, or it's like, hey, they're giving your tax dollars to these lazy jobless people, or yeah. So but ultimately no, that's not how it works. So yeah, I'm totally with you there.
I got to ask you because you'd know, just simple yes or no, so we don't get too far off of there.
Yeah.
But back in the day, like your wheelhouse day, they weren't trading like corn for cows. They would still have some monetary thing, whether it was a fucking stick or a seashell.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Right, and I like how you tell me not to get off on a.
I had
Yeah,
to. I had to.
I know I could talk for like hours and hours on on that. But yeah, I mean, the only thing I'll I will say about that is that you take something like, well, where did capitalism come from? And it's probably the most common thing: Medici Bank, Renaissance, Catholic Church,
Yeah.
like all that. But it all was much it was much earlier than that. And so the Dark Ages, the Middle Ages, like this kind of proto capitalism thing was happening back then. And so yeah, totally with you on that. The pure barter thing, the the illustrations in the book of, it's sort of, I don't think it's not very PC, but they'll show like people on an island, islanders exchanging things, and
Yeah,
that's
no.
bartering. Oh yeah, right, yeah, no, none of that. Good stuff. All right, so crypto.
That can be a session if you want. I'm down for it.
Yeah, sure. So we hit
I
your number.
I almost ripped your fucking head off on that one. I
Why is
didn't.
that?
You said 100 ain't shit, and I almost went in there. Yeah, but my 103 or 102, 103 is. But I just let it go. I just
Oh,
let it go.
right, yeah. No, I was well, okay. So bear in mind that at the time I'm in a MSTR put, and I'm just like,
Oh
that
sure,
I
you're a
didn't think
fan.
that we were going to get some instant rocket ship off the break under 100. I'm like, it's going to hang out here for a minute, and it did. So basically, yeah.
We did
So
that.
very short time frame on there, but no, I like your spot, and I'm interested. I mean, it's how it's going to set back up here. The thing that's going on in crypto right now, there's a lot of very old Bitcoin accounts that are cashing out.
Cashing out. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, these are people that, just a thousand became millions kind of accounts. Like those are just all sort of getting out. And so you talk about an asset class that's just way different now. Crypto is, and it's why I'm skeptical of when people talk about the cycle. The idea that Bitcoin's going to repeat past cycles now that there's so much institutional involvement and money and complicated derivatives and all that stuff. No, I don't think so. But I do think that there's still going to be some pretty good trades in this space. So
I'm not really on the Bitcoin angle as much as the conversion to the data center angle. I think that's
yeah,
the being ahead over there. But there is some. I think the Bitcoin charts are better when Bitcoin's cheaper because then there's that. Oh, Bitcoin can get to this price, as opposed to trying to play it off the all-time high. That might just be psychologically me. But we're here. We got good range on it, so if it works for you, keep going. I mean, I'm not. That's an.
yeah.
We're on
Well,
a
no,
we're on a daily, and your uptrend ain't giving away yet. So stick with it.
yeah, and I mentioned MSTR. I was like, I said, well, might be able to get Unk interested in this, at 220, and then 220 was kind of the
202.
was the bottom there for a minute. But it's gonna take some time. These will be much better if we could just get. You imagine just getting to 80 some thousand. What that's gonna do psychologically to those crypto dudes,
We're buying here.
and you amp up their despair, and then it's like we're like, oh, all right, here we go. And so then you get back in, and I mean that's like you take that original Mara catching the bottom on that years ago. Um, that's what those conditions were like, or coin down there or whatever. I mean, coin's not going back to those levels, but yeah, they could get good again. But I'm kind of rooting for a fuller breakdown from here. Uh, much easier, much easier trade. But yeah, there'll be some quick hitters if it stays up here too.
Like it. Like it.
All right, spy real quick, and then we can
Yeah.
wrap up.
Let's do that.
All right,
Can
so
can I say it? Can I say it? Can I say it?
yeah, go ahead.
When it hits 660, don't fucking panic. All right.
Right.
Fuck. I didn't
The
think it'd come up off of that quick though. I really didn't. I didn't think it would happen on Friday. We
yeah.
needed that to happen. If any of you guys look at that as anything but positive, I think you're foolish.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's and I mean what well I guess what I know when it got to 660 like it didn't wake up any activity
Nope.
for them to set up new edges or anything. So still pretty still pretty dead on my end. You look at the open interest, a lot of dead OI. This November expiration needs to hit for this to sort of clear up a bit to me. Because there's just nothing here on my end. And if I call up either little window here, um, yeah. So this little
That
section
lines up.
here,
That 72, 73 lines up with what I have right now on a daily level.
yeah, yeah. That's the spot.
Yep.
And
Right here.
so that and you can see that that 660, this big red line here. Most of that's bid side, so there's existing OI sold there that is going to hold it up.
I like it.
And yeah, upside. I mean, it's just retraced to all time highs is on the table. So uh, don't be surprised. The the hated rally, as they say. You fall this much, you get a bunch of people to flip bearish, and you just move back up. Seen it so many times.
Yeah, that what is I'm 100% with you. What is weird to me is that it was an $11 up move on a 2-hour window on Friday. That
Right.
I expected the 660 and we kind of grind the rest of the year, finish at 75, 80 on a good
Yeah.
one, 65 on a bad one. That's really what I'm expecting. So just to, and that's where the number one note. I'll read it again. We like to repeat ourselves the last couple of weeks, but liquidity is not a rising tide. It feels like splash damage, and that's kind of what that felt like both ways. It's just there's not a lot of trade there. They're looking for shares to be traded in a pretty damn large range because those fuckers
Yeah.
make money off the micro transaction and make a penny off of every share or whatever the case may be. So
Right.
they need billions of shares traded. That's how they make money. They're like the McDonald's of fucking finance. They need that drive-through line packed. So
Yep.
yeah, we're going to be searching up here. I'm surprised that they're not fighting for something though, like a 75 or something. It's just weird. That's just it's where we've been, but
Yeah.
it's
No,
still weird to me.
it was it was strange, and I like I said, I just wrapped up early Friday, but then I
Yeah,
went and
me
looked
too.
back. And I'm like, damn, that
Same, same.
quite a comeback. Yeah.
Well, and then just the change of what I thought I was going to do over the weekend changed. We sit at 660,
Right.
659. I'm thinking of a totally different ball game than this. We had some strength off of it. So
Yep.
perfect. Ready to work? That's about all I got here.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Perfect. Hey, like and subscribe. Link somewhere, people.